As expected, the USF Pro 2000 Race 1 here at the Grand Prix of Arlington was a wild one. The track, of course, very tough for all the drivers, but also the very first race of the 2026 season. Every one of the drivers getting things dialed in, a lot of rookies and a lot of sophomores for sure. One of the drivers who had a great run here was Frankie Mossman for VRD Racing. Frankie, congratulations first on that run. You got another one to go with here today. Podium in Race 1, give me your thoughts on that first.
Yeah, first off, I want to say thank you to the team and God for keeping me safe. I think we had a really strong package. I made some good moves at the beginning. I was aggressive, and I made a big turnaround from yesterday. I feel like overnight I became a little bit of a different driver, the one that I'm normally used to on street circuits. Because yesterday was a tough day for me. Practice, I didn't feel confident in the first opening 20 minutes of the session, and going into qualifying, I still had my doubts, and kind of let myself get worked up a little bit, and we made a good recovery since then, and obviously went 7th to 2nd in race 1, and I'm hoping that we can go 3rd to 1st in race 2.
The interesting thing is on a track like St. Petersburg, we know the track's going to change as IndyCar gets out there and puts rubber down. But you put in the fact that you guys didn't know the track at all. Yesterday was really tough in terms of the track changing. How was the track this morning? Was it even worse or better rather than it was yesterday?
Yeah, it was definitely even better. We obviously were faster. It wasn't as big of an evolution, obviously, from practice to qualifying that we kind of missed the boat on a little bit on the setup for quali. But I think it's just going to get a little bit greasy later on, even with IndyCar quali going out. I don't think we're going to be doing the times that we saw in race 1. But I think that we're going to make some good adjustments and make sure that we're ahead of the curve there and just go out and try to fight for a win.
Does the initial podium to start off the season change your mindset going into the back end of this doubleheader?
Yeah, I mean, it changes my mind. Kind of to retract that. Not really. I've been confident on street circuits before. I mean, right as we saw it on the calendar, I was like, okay, I know I can adapt quickly. I just think that we're just going to keep building this forward momentum and show that I have my wits about me and that I'm thinking about Road America and not our race right now in the moment.
Right? Yeah. Listen, some guys hold their heads high and have themselves in that moment, like Frankie did. Some drivers had some trouble on the racetrack as well. We had a number of drivers get into walls, little spins there. That's what happens at the start of the season. You got sophomores, you've got rookies, and of course the sophomores have been here before. The rookies, though, their first time here in USF Pro 2000, first time at a track like this at Arlington as well. We got a fantastic rookie crop. Let's have a look at the 4 we're probably going to be watching here in 2026. This year's field in the USF Pro 2000 category is incredibly stout. A lot of fantastic drivers all chasing that scholarship to move to Indy next in 2027. 3 drivers from last year's top 10 returning as sophomores for another shot at the title, but we may have to be watching the rookie crop this year. Top 4 in USF 2000 from 2025, all making the move up to USF Pro 2000 this year, and they're all race winners in the USF Pro Championships. You've got last year's champion with exclusive Autosport, Jack Jeffers. You got Teddy Musella. Then we've got Thomas Schrag and G3 Argyros as well. All 4 of those drivers know how to win races, and they want to try to get it done here so they find themselves in Indy next in 2027. We had a chance to catch up to all 4 of those drivers here in the paddock today. As the reigning USF 2000 champion, you come in here with the scholarship colors on the car. We're here at Arlington. What are your expectations? What are the goals for 2026?
Well, the goals are the same as last year. We've proven that we can go and win a championship and have a comeback fight even if things don't go our way. So the goal this year is to, make sure we make things go our way and everything that's in our control we do right, and then go for another championship. It's kind of the expectation I have of myself, and that's the expectation the team has. So it lines up.
Thomas, you are a rookie here to USF Pro 2000, but you're not a rookie to street circuits. You've driven them before in USF 2000. Do you bring a different mindset in a car with more horsepower and more downforce?
A little bit, yeah, for sure. I've done a little bit of testing, not a lot over the off season, but really felt at home here. I know the guys at TJ Speed are giving me great equipment, and definitely driving the pro car. First time on a street circuit, it doesn't move around as much, so I think it'll be a bit easier. I mean, obviously aero wash is another thing that comes into play, so just trying to keep myself cool and calm behind cars, but hopefully we're starting ahead of everybody, so I don't have to worry about that.
Consistency is key for any driver in the USF Pro Championships. Teddy, it's one of your kind of calling cards, right? You've been able to have the consistency. Good start to last season, but you came on big time strong in the second half. How do you change that around your first year in USF Pro?
I think my first year in 2000 last year, I came in with the mentality that, like, I'll be quick instantly, which sort of backfired. I was putting too much pressure on myself. So it sort of just forced me putting in mistakes, overdriving here. So this year I'm just going to go in more calm, just sort of see how things go, and then build on from there and keeping my consistency that I had from last year.
Making the move from USF 2000 to USF Pro 2000 is a big step in any young drivers run up the career ladder. G3 for you. You come in here to this weekend at Arlington. It's not a track you know. That's one of the outliers for all you rookies coming up from USF 2000. How do you approach this weekend with a tough track like this?
This is just, one of the best street tracks that we've ever had for the USF in the time I've been here. I love it. It's got so much character to it. It's really, takes you back to old IndyCar when, streets of Detroit, old Toronto, now Markham. I hope Markham's going to be the same, where it's just so difficult. There's so many different, really obscure characteristics of this track. You've got elevation, you've got bumps, you've got potholes, you've got paint, crazy curbs. I mean, the track designers did an amazing job laying it out through this city. And so for this event, especially with everyone, not just USF Pro Championships, never driving here before, you come in completely unknown. Usually you do a lot of sim prep, look over data, you have a couple meetings with your engineers, and this one you're completely unknown. So for all of us, the first time really seeing the track and getting a grip to it was yesterday for the track walk. And luckily this track has been really incredible, and we just came back from practice one, and from the track walk, we all knew that this was going to be an amazing track. It was just so fun to drive with all the, really interesting track types and different pavements that we have to deal with. It's just one of those where every lap you're trying something new and getting used to it. And for me, it's just been a blast. And I feel like I'm pretty good at picking up tracks quickly, and so this plays right into my favor as a rookie. Coming in, it levels the playing field for all drivers, rookies, veterans, and I feel like that's why, we've been able to capitalize as well as we have.
Yeah, GC, straight up, it's a level playing field coming in to start the new season, but of course the sophomore drivers may have a little bit of an edge at some of the other races down the line, but starting off here in Arlington, the top 4 drivers in USF 2000 last year, all freshmen, ready to go to the very front to start off their rookie campaigns.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
Well, I'll tell you, we have a tremendous field of both sophomore drivers and rookie drivers here in the USF Pro 2000 program to start off this 2026 season. As I look at the grid here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rookies, 6 rookies in the top 10, 4 sophomore drivers. So indeed, we have ourselves a great lineup of both freshmen and sophomores. We'll see who comes out on top. A great race earlier on today. Obviously some issues for the driver who led for a majority of the race, Jack Jeffers. He will be back on the pole position here for race number 2. So you can be guaranteed that he's going to be fighting his way back to see if he can't get that redemption of the issue that happened early. We are, I believe, a little bit on hold right now. We'll kind of wait to see how things shake in. But otherwise, yeah, we're getting ready to go racing once again. We have a grid set for 22 drivers, and once again, capping off our weekend here. There's still a lot of racing to come here trackside of the Grand Prix of Arlington, but for those of us here in the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire, and all of those of you following us at home on the broadcast, indeed, we will wrap things up with race number 2 here. And there's been a lot of stuff going on in the paddock afterwards. Talked to a lot of the teams while I was in there, chatting about the track itself, the grip levels as they were coming up. Talked to the leaders about things that happened on the racetrack. Being told as well as some work being done in the TJ Speed camp, in the Turn 3 Motorsports camp, pardon me. TJ Speed was working on the damage of the cars that got into some issues in their paddock. but a gearbox change, I'm being told, for Sebastian Manson. I'm not sure whether or not they got that wrapped. I had to head here for the PA booth before I was able to see if they were done and dusted yet. So the bottom line is work being done there in Turn 3 Motorsports before we were able to work our way over here. Let's have a look at the grid right now. Those drivers will be working their way onto the front straight, or the pit lane rather, to get things going. Hopefully we'll get the full 18 laps in. We had a time-specific race there for race number 1 earlier today, but here being the final race of the day, we will be able to get things going, and ideally we'll get 18 laps. 22 drivers in the field set to go. It's not been a fantastic weekend for Tanner DeFabus in the number 5, the Jay Howard driver development, powered by ECR driver. An issue in practice with a failed push rod put him in the wall. They were not able to get him out for qualifying. He had a rough run, probably some issues with getting that car put back together. Didn't run the full distance in race number 1. So we're hoping that Tanner's able to get at least a full distance here as he's trying to get more experience here at the track at Arlington. He'll start alongside Tyke Durst from Charlotte, North Carolina. Durst for Turn 3 Motorsports in that number 3 machine. Again, looking to work his way forward. Had a strong 12th place finish earlier today. He'll have to do some work, though, because he's starting back in 21st. Up down to row number 10 on the outside. I've talked about the Kiwi from New Zealand, Sebastian Manson, the team going to work to get that car dialed in, the number 22, starting in the 20th position. Alongside him, one of the drivers with the worst luck I've seen here in the last couple of months, no doubt about that, from Illinois. Evan Cooley has not made it to the end for, I think, 7 straight races right now, 6 in USF 2000, a mechanical while running in the top 10 earlier today. It's been issues where he's been taken out by other drivers, mechanicals, you name it, none of them his fault. This is the bad luck, that cloud looming over Evan Cooley. If there's a driver in the group right now that needs to have that go away and have a fantastic run, keep an eye on the number 9. He deserves a drive towards the front because the pace is there to run top 10. Working our way forward again, starting alongside Cooley, or rather up a row. Yeah, we'll go to row number 9, starting 18th. That's Leandro Juncos, a little minor issue for Leandro in the race. He's going to start in the 18th position in the TJ Speed Motorsports machine. He is indeed a driver we saw in USF Juniors a couple of years ago, but a full season of GB4 racing last year for Leandro. Moving to the inside of that row for VRD Racing in the number 11 from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. That is Colin Aiken, a full-time USF 2000 driver this year. They decided to jump up here at Arlington to test the waters for 2027. Definitely a steep learning curve for Colin, but again, a good run. Stayed out of trouble in that first race and was able to come away with a 14th place finish. You got that first run in race in the books. Now you can go to work for the next one. Moving up a row, it'll be his teammate Thomas Schrag in the number 26. We know Thomas had some issues in turn 10, got into the barrier. Hopefully he'll have a cleaner race today here. Schrag, who finished 3rd last year in the USF 2000 Championship, driving the number 26 for TJ Speed Motorsports. Inside of that row, in the number 7 from Sarasota, Florida, USF Juniors driver last year, making the big jump up here into the USF Pro 2000 category for Jay Howard driver development with Ed Carpenter Racing. That is JT Hoskins in the number 7. Hoskins benefited from some of the issues, also had a really clean run himself. He was 9th in the opening run, so a good debut for JT Hoskins. He'll roll off from the inside of row number 8. Moving now up to row number 7 on the outside in the number 44, it's Brady Golan in the number 44 for Turn 3 Motorsports, Austin, Texas. So he's one of the home state Texas drivers, 2 of them here, both he and Jack Jeffers. Austin, Texas calls home for the young driver who has worked his way through Juniors 2000 and now Pro 2000, Brady Golan in the number 44. He'll start alongside Anthony Martella in the number 93 from Ontario, Canada for Exclusive Autosport, another full-time driver in the USF 2000 category. If you watched our races for St. Pete, you saw him get taken out at the start of race number 1. A mechanical failure took him out in race number 2. He is looking for a big comeback weekend, and you got to say, a great drive from 20th up to 7th in race 1, plus 13 in that number 93 machine. A much better starting spot here. He'll start 7 spots ahead up into the 13th position. Row number 6 will have a driver from New Zealand and a driver from Greenfield, Indiana. On the outside for Pabst Racing, the number 19, Jacob Douglas, 5th in the USF Pro 2000 Championship points last year, a winner of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Jacob Douglas in the 19, starting in the 12th position, and alongside him, the single car effort for Comet Kart Sales Newcastle Motorsports Park Racing. That's Logan Adams in the number 21. Logan having a great run. 8th place in the opening race there. You see the Dale Pelfrey name there, a name that we've seen here in the USF Pro Championships under Team Pelfrey for many years. Again, young Logan Adams, again, the grandson of Mark Dismore, a name that everybody around Indianapolis Motor Speedway will know. And again, Mark is here. He's kind of steering that ship and excited to see his grandson get rolling back out here for another run. Logan lined up for the full season here in 2026. Let's work our way into the top 10 right now. The number 27 will be next up. A strong run for young Christian Cameron, just 16 years of age. Cameron was 5th in his USF Pro 2000 debut for TJ Speed in the race earlier today. Can he back that up at Sonoma, California? The rookie of the 27 starting in the 10th position outside of row number 5. Working our way inside of that row now into the 9th position as we get things ready to go here. Starting in 9th from Milton, Ontario, Canada, 3rd place in the points last year. Matt Clark in the number 95. This weekend, the first time he's been in the car in 3 months, so he's been learning on the go. Actually had an issue in the opening race where he got the wing knocked off, was able to kind of work his way back forward again. Looking for a clean run here and to get back to that style and that speed that he saw in 2025. Clark at the number 95 for Exclusive Autosport starting in the 9th position. Alongside him, a row up actually will be Joey Brienza out of Denver, Colorado. The number 91 for Exclusive Autosport started 19th. He worked his way nicely up the field to get himself into the top 10. Brienza's in the 10th position, but he's going to start here in 8th spot. He'll have to attack early. Here's another driver who's pushing very hard throughout the race. A little spin for G3 Argyros. He ended up finishing a little further down the order at 11th, but the speed there, I believe, to run in the top 5 in the Positive Beverage Machine. And there it is, the lineup there on the inside of row number 4 in the 18 out of California, G3 Argyros. Up into row number 3 now as they're firing up the engines here momentarily. Teddy Masella, runner-up last year in USF 2000 in the VRD Racing. Number 25, Masella out of Orlando, Florida in the 25 starting in 6th. And alongside him, podium finisher, second-year driver Michael Costello in the number 2 at Naples, Florida. Will roll off here as they are all rolling off from the inside of row number 3. Row 2 will have the Peruvian Andres Cardenas, very impressive in his debut. 4th, was 3rd, fell back to 8th, got himself back up to P4 for Jay Howard Driver Development. Cardenas, the rookie, coming in from the Euro Cup 3 last year, had a race win there and has been impressive out of the gate. Fastest driver on the timesheets of the Fall Combine at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway last October. Cardenas will start on the outside of row number 2, P4. Inside of that row, a strong run in the opening race. Came from deeper in the field. Started 7th, got himself to a podium 2nd. That's fast Frankie Mossman in the number 77 machine out of Newport Beach, California. Mossman for VRD Racing starting in the 3rd spot. Inside row 2 for Mossman. 22 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row as the drivers now work their way down to turn number 4. The winner from the first race, Leonardo Scorpioni, USF Juniors champion last year, 2 podiums at St. Petersburg in USF 2000 with the scholarship colors on the car 2 weeks ago. He comes out here and wins in his debut in USF Pro 2000. What a drive for Scorpioni, and he'll be looking to see if he can't double up here on a Saturday afternoon. But the driver looking for redemption right now. He led essentially from green to almost checker to the very end of the race. Jack Jeffers from San Antonio, Texas here for Exclusive Autosport, the reigning USF 2000 champion. You see the colors on that race car. The scholarship that he was able to win worth over $400,000 to move him to USF Pro 2000 this year with Exclusive Autosport. Just that issue. Had some trouble coming down into the braking zone of turn number 9. I think maybe locked the rears up. Whatever it was, he was not able to get the car into the gear, and it looped around on him. Just bad luck for Jack Jeffers. Now, the, again, mark of a driver, or even the experience that he'll get here from learning from that kind of a tough situation, that mental absolute disappointment. When I went over to talk to Jack at the end, I gave him a fist bump, and I said, time for redemption. And he goes, exactly that. So the mindset is already there for Jack Jeffers. He knows, he put it behind him. They say you got to have the memory of a goldfish, right? Forget about it. Go on to the next one. Little Ted Lasso quote for you there. But the bottom line is for Jeffers starting on the pole again after going purple near the very end of the race to lock that pole down. Many of the times here are coming not from the second fastest lap time in qualifying, but the fastest lap in the race. So indeed, you had to be quick in the race to be able to get a good starting spot. He went purple. Jeffers and a Scorpioni will be on row number 1. So Todd, again, this is it, right? I don't want to put the pressure on Jack saying, hey, this is your chance to step up and show what you've got. This is more of, I think, a learning experience for any young driver in a development program like ours where, man, you just faced adversity, you almost won, you ended up backwards in the wall. This is your time to come back and really, really harness the demons that you got going in your head.
It is a mental test. It's a maturity test as well. Can you put adversity behind you? Can you understand that you have to compartmentalize and you can't change anything that happened in race number 1. All you can do is focus on race number 2 and go what's ahead. There are a lot of great stories that we want to follow in this race number 2 for the USF Pro 2000 series. Jeffers, what he can do in race number 2. Can Leonardo Scorpioni continue to have the incredible success? Andres Cardenas had a very good run in race number 1. We got Matt Clark starting up a little further in the field inside the top 10. Let's see what kind of speed he can show. Same with Anthony Martella, had that huge charge in race number 1. What do they have in race number 2?
Let's throw up the track map here right now and have a look at it, because the drivers are working their way now through turn 1 and 2. We're going to start them on the back straightaway, as we know, into turn number 10. But as they work their way out of the turn 1, 2, 3 combination, it's that left combination. A really tough part of the racetrack. Down here into turn 4, end of that straightaway. It's been a hard-braking corner through turn 5, down 5 into that 6, that sweeping horseshoe corner on the inside, kind of back uphill through 6, 7, and then 8, which leads you back downhill into the most important corner on the racetrack to a certain extent, turn number 9. That leads you on the long straightaway. You got to get out of that corner well, down to turn 10. Then it's another straight run down to turn number 12 with a kink, turn 11. Same thing down to 14, a tight corner very similar to turn 3 down the end of Lakeshore Boulevard in Toronto. Hard-braking right hand, 110-degree right-hander back up the hill to turn 1. It is a tough racetrack, but as you've heard from everybody, from the very bottom, the very slowest cars on the weekend, through us, through next, to whatever it is, the guys up at IndyCar, they are loving this street circuit. Everybody loves it. Field has to pack up. A couple of stragglers further back as we're going to start this time by. First 5 or 6 rows are in. Here comes Logan Adams as well. The rest of the field trying to get themselves up into the grid spots here. Leaders trying to get that better run down. Looking good here now. Race number 2 for USF Pro 2000, both on the weekend and on the season. About to go green. It's Jeffers on the inside, a Scorpioni on the outside. 18-lapper for you here. They'll head by the Arlington Convention Center to fire things up for the final time, and we are at it. Green, green, green! Racing into turn number 10. A little bit of a right front lockup for Jack Jeffers. Otherwise clean and green. He's able to release the brake and get out of the corner. Big run to the outside for Cardenas. He's going to try to see if he can't make a move as they come out of turn number 10 through 11. Jeffers going to hold the bottom of the racetrack. Out to the outside goes the Scorpioni. And Cardenas does a good job to this time be able to lock down P3, but pressured by Frankie Mossman from behind. Good start for everybody else. Clean and green through the opening couple of laps. Jeffers is going to be able to open up the corner there. He'll gain at least a couple of tenths. There's contact there, and that is Logan Adams going around. Christian Cameron into the back of Logan Adams. Anthony Martella collected as well. Jacob Douglas crab walking out of the corner, and we have boxed it up in that corner. A couple of drivers trying to get through. The 93 on Martella trying to refire. Christian Cameron trying to push back into him as well. This may go full course yellow, as we've got a number of drivers collected. A little bit of a track blockage over in turn number 14. If we do go yellow, this track is so long, I would expect we'll let them go green all the way down into turn number 10. No need to throw the full course yellow here as well. Give the track and the corner enough time to potentially clear itself. But a tough one there for the 93 of Martella as he gets collected. Christian Cameron tried a maybe a little over-aggressive move to the inside of Logan Adams. Right front to left rear contact indeed. Full course yellow on the racetrack as the drivers come down through turn number 9. So Brienza, Adams, Schrag, Aiken, potentially all involved. I know Martella was. Let's have a look, folks. Those of you at home and those of you trackside, at the incident coming in, you'll see Cameron making a move to the bottom of the racetrack. Jeffers nicely wide here. Look at all the action going back. Everybody trying to pick a lane. Jeffers gets to go full on. But if you look further back here, there's the 21 and a very ambitious, and there's no way that move was going to work for Christian Cameron. Oh, and I want to say, I think maybe the 91 of Brienza was trying to get around the outside. He gets caught up. There's the 11 of Colin Aiken. 22 of Manson. Here's another shot here. There's the contact coming around. Look at Brienza. Just doesn't quite give it enough room. And he's going to make contact with both the right rear and the left rear. Another one of the... There's Douglas crab walking. That's the number 7 who came through nice and cleanly. J.T. Hoskins was able to thread the needle and come away with it. I think Tanner DeFavis potentially going through the pit lane, as that was kind of the only place to go for him. Todd, listen, it's a tight part of the racetrack. I almost felt like if somebody was going to go around there, it would not surprise me if we were going to have full track blockage because, again, you could see the minute that Logan Adams went around, there was really nowhere to go.
And that's it. It is a very tight right-hander that you can continue to the right and go on to the main front straightaway in the start-finish line, or this is where they duck into the pits if you go to the left. And as you mentioned, Tanner DeFabis looked like he went through to try to escape some of the carnage, but it's a bit of a pinch point. If someone has trouble, there's simply no room to get around that. And as we saw, the other cars get collected, the 22 of Sebastian Manson, the 93 of Anthony Martella, simply nowhere to go and no time to stop.
I think we're probably going to see Martella make a pit stop. I'm pretty sure he's got front wing damage. He hit into the back of Cameron pretty aggressively. And of course, was trying to whoa it up. Number one, not trying to whoa it up. You're literally turning in and getting back on the throttle, only to see that another driver's there, and you're jumping on the brakes at that point. I think Martella's likely going to be able to come back around and not be a full lap down. So work will be done here. Now here's the drivers here. So, yeah, all those guys are they're literally trying to get into pit lane with wing damage and got held up by the fact that there was still AMR IndyCar safety crews in the area. This is coming up through turn number 7 and 8. So a long time for these guys to get things underway for sure. I'll tell you, some action in a big way there for sure to get things underway, Todd. Man, I was hoping for that first lap. But as you know, everybody knows on that first lap, that's an opportunity to make that pass.
Any start, any restart, it's your best opportunity to make gains, and that's what we saw Andres Cardenas do. He picked up a spot in that early going, but then, of course, it became pinched down as he tried to make their way through quarter 14. And there's just no visibility because it's such a hard right-hander. You don't know if there's a situation until you're right on top of it. And there we see some of the repair work going on with that 19 car of Jacob Douglas.
Yeah, you hate to see the rear engine cowl come off. That means they've got to get deeper into the suspension. They're going to do what the best they can to try to get the right rear suspension changed on the 19 for Jacob Douglas. Listen, every point you can possibly get, knowing the kind of kick carnage we've seen here this weekend, even if he goes a couple laps down, get him back out because you're not sure what's going to happen on the next next restart because this is a driver we expect to be in the championship hunt. It's not been a great start to the weekend or the year yet for Jacob Douglas. Finished 16th in the first race, and now he's going to be down the order as well, a couple laps down. So the Pabst Racing crew digging in very deep. I do want to take an opportunity to say hello to those of you who are watching here on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel. Hope you're enjoying the race so far, the coverage we've had throughout the weekend. Of course, practice qualifying race number 1. Race number 2 now underway with some carnage. I will take a shout out to my friend Randy Mitchell, who is watching back home in Utah. Randy, of course, you're in my thoughts, my friend. Hope to see you soon. But indeed, drivers are settling in here right now. If we had a driver in here with us, we'd be talking about mindset right now. We'd be talking about, hey, you were so amped up to get ready to go. You've been sitting in the paddock for 3 hours, first and foremost, going over data. Car's ready. You get on the racetrack. IndyCar's been out. Indy Next has been out. And all of a sudden, you do all that mental processing to get ready for the race, and then boom, after the first lap, you're into a caution mode.
And how have you even had a chance to assess what the condition of the track is, because you've barely done a lap at speed with all of the IndyCar and Indy Next rubber that's gone down, and to assess how different the track conditions are now as the work, I think, is continuing for the 27 of Christian Cameron. But I thought I saw the 93 of Anthony Martella leave pit lane, so as you said, down towards the tail end of the lead lap, but I don't think he has gone a lap down.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Martella, of course, trying to match that fantastic comeback that he had as well in race number 1 when he went from 20th up into 7th, plus 13. You know what? I will be remiss. I don't want to get myself in trouble. I got to give a shout-out to my mother-in-law as well, Kathy Hodap, watching in Auburn, Washington as well. So I want to make sure that I give a shout-out there.
If you're smart, you do.
I don't normally do shout-outs, but here we are. We're in Texas. There's time. We got a yellow. I'll be smart here all about it. So, indeed, the drivers will circulate around. The mindset then is, okay, let's get a feel for this racetrack. Let's get myself back into where I need to be, because now it's not a too-wide start. Now I'm thinking, okay, what do I do on a single file restart coming down the straightaway? You know, the green's going to go, we're not doing on the back straightaway, we're doing on the front straightaway. So I got to remember, when I come back through the corner we just had the carnage in, they're going to punch off. Jeffers is going to be leading. The minute he comes out of turn 14 and gets that thing straight to the point where he can get on the throttle, he's going to want to do that a little bit earlier than the guys behind him to get that jump, so that he's not attacked down in turn number 4, because if you recall the restart that we had in race 1, he was able to attack on a Scorpione and made the move to the inside of turn 4.
Yeah, exactly. There was a little back and forth between those two, but now Jack Jeffers back out in front and in control where he wanted to be, where he was until late in the race on race number 1 a little bit earlier today, when unfortunately it went away for him and Leonardo Scorpione was able to surge by and capture the victory. But now Jeffers is again back out in front, back out in control. Again, a test of that mindset, the mental approach, the mental attitude, and the maturity.
You know, another thing, too, is they have to remember how early in the season it is. You know, a driver like Leonardo Scorpione, I have to wonder, you know, when he's sitting down with his dad, the mom, managers, what do we do here right now? Where do we go right now? Simply knowing that, you know, I've got the scholarship to go USF 2000 racing, but I've already shown that I can run up front here in USF Pro. You know, do I try to follow in the Alessandro Di Tullio, the Max Garcia, these guys that have come into Pro and are already in Indy Next? Is that my next move? Do I go to Pro? I want to see him stay in USF 2000. I want to see him carry that USF scholarship livery, the colors all year long. But man, he has shown so well here this weekend. You got to wonder.
And maybe we're only working lap 5, so I think maybe there's a little time to still. But you're absolutely.
I don't care what happens in this race, whether he DNFs or wins. He's
been fast.
It's been so fast,
and he shows he can compete at this level
on a track that, again, level playing field, unbelievably tough, slippery early, unknown, bumpy. You know, they did some grinding, I think, overnight that just made it a lot better coming into turn number 10. So, indeed, getting set to go once again, folks. Jack Jeffers, your leader. Leonardo Scorpione, second. Cardenas, Mossman, Ardros, top 5. Costello, Clark, Masella, Hoskins, and Golan, your top 10. This is where they will restart. Very similar to a Mid-Ohio where you start on the back straightaway and you get back to green here on the front chute. Here they come out of the corner. Jeffers on the throttle, as is a Scorpione. Some more contact a little further back as Cooley almost getting together with another driver coming out of the corner, trying to pinch to the inside of him. And Jeffers will lead them through turn number 1. We are back at it again. 4 laps down in an 18-lap race. Restarts are always another great place to potentially overtake. A little further back, the action heavy, hot and heavy. And indeed, Martella did get back to the green, the lead lap at the very tail of the field. Jeffers will defend down into turn number 4. A Scorpione on the hunt as well. But remember, big run around the outside there for Masella. Teddy Masella trying to go around the outside of turn 5 on Matt Clark. Not sure he was able to make that stick. Not quite as much grip on the outside there. But I like the attack mode. The mindset is to find a way by. Big move to the bottom of the racetrack there. Martella is going to get by Colin Aiken, so move him up at least one spot into either 16th or 15th now. So Martella going to do it all over again. Couldn't find a way through the carnage of turn number 14, but finds himself at the tail of the field looking to repeat that fantastic drive that he saw in race number 1. Side by side, a little further back. You see this team here. A couple of drivers going to go wheel to wheel.
Is that Costello and Matt Clark that are battling head-to-head?
Hard for me to see the car on the driver's right, but yeah, blue and white for sure. Machine of turn 3. Oh, big lockup. That was it. That was Costello and potentially Cooley, I think. Was that not? That was Evan Cooley and Brady Golan. That was Brady. I think that was Golan that went back off the 44, potentially back onto the racetrack. And hey, listen, when you're pushing that hard, you're on the outside. You've been hounding him up the straightaway. You want that outside move, but sooner or later, you've got to say, hey, listen, I can either make this corner or I can't.
And that's exactly it. And there we see, another bull charge up the inside. And again, trying to make that move, and you clip the front wing.
Literally look at my watch for 1 second to get a race control update as a couple drivers went off. And all of a sudden, more action happening. Good thing we got Todd sitting beside me here to help out. That's wing damage for the 4. No doubt about it. That is a Scorpione. I think a Scorpione's got wing damage. There's Jeffers in the lead. Cardenas now up into second. That's G3 Ardros up into 4. Another driver's gone off. Another driver. That may have been Matt Clark, I think, that went off. Let's see if he pulls back around. That is in turn number 4. Another driver with an issue coming down to turn 4, overshoots it, goes into the runoff area, and I think it might have been one of the red and black cars from Exclusive Autosport. I'm going to say potentially Matt Clark.
We saw so many drivers have difficulty with corner number 4. You crest is just a little bit of a hill, and then it's a downhill attitude towards corner number 4. It's caught a lot of drivers out on braking, and we've seen since the return to green flag racing, everybody from the front to the back of this field is trying to charge as hard as they can.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the 4 of a Scorpione trying to hold on right now, but with no front wing, you're just not going to be able to get the plant. He's going to struggle so much trying to go through turn 10 at the end of the straightaway. Pick up a Scorpione, folks, when you see him coming into the braking zone. And here, he's just not going to be able to get the car turned in like he wants to. He's going to lose so much indeed. Look at, he had to get behind, lost a couple of spots. Another deep move there by the 44 of Golan. He'll lose another spot, and indeed, I think more turn 3 wing damage as well, but I 100% know that we're going to see a Scorpione come to pit lane when he gets back to turn 14.
It simply won't be able to hold on. With front wing damage like that, you need the downforce to hold on to the front of the car.
A couple of TJ Speed cars battling out together a little bit further back. I believe that's Thomas Schrag and Leandro Juncos, and Anthony Martello's hunting them. Watch for him to try to make a move as there goes a Scorpione into pit lane. So it won't be back-to-back wins for Leonardo Scorpione today as he's going to head to pit lane. That wing damage. Didn't see where he picked it up. Likely in a scrap potentially with Cardenas. But here comes your race winner of the opening battle of the year, the Floridian, into pit lane. They're going to try to get this thing changed, get him back out. A long racetrack, a minute and 40-something seconds. Todd, there's a chance to get it done, get him back out. He'll be crossed his fingers for a yellow, but he may be able to get back out.
That's exactly right. You can see that the old wing has already been swapped, and they are refastening the new one, so they should have plenty of time to get him back out. And now you're right. It's a hope for a yellow flag to slow things down and bunch back up again. Yes, it was Matt Clark that did run off. As you can see, he has run back down to the tail end of the lead lap, and Anthony Martello is continuing his climb forward. But what a shake-up over the last little while with Cardenas now running second and G3 Argyros up into third position.
Yeah, good start so far for the drivers up front, Jeffers, Cardenas, and Argyros. Frankie Mossman, remember, started 7th in the opening race, was able to work his way up into second, now P4. So if you can come into a race like this and get a couple of top 5s, it's a great way to start off the season. Big run down the back chute again. Drivers topping out at around 150. Logan Knapp from Elite Engines told us 154 max based on the gearing, the new gear stack we put in the car for this racetrack and Road America. Top 10 sees Jeffers, Cardenas, Argyros, Mossman, and Masella. And we've got Cooley, Hoskins, Golan, Durst, and Juncos, your top 10. The field starting to settle itself into a number of single car battles. Matt Clark into pit lane as well, I believe. No, remember, he missed that shot, but did he go into the pit lane? Any kind of damage? No. Just a significant margin back after having to essentially very likely 3-point himself out of that runoff area.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's it. You overshoot the corner. It takes you time to get pointed back in the right direction to return to battle.
And one of the things, our cars, we do have a lot of grip, but we don't have the horsepower, that bottom end torque where you can, like an Indy car, just stab on it and it spins around. A lot of the times, the torque isn't there to overcome the grip of the tires to really just spin it around. You've got to get it into reverse. So a little tougher in a pro car to get it turned around in the tight confines of a runoff.
But how about Jack Jeffers after managing to find his way through and stay away from all of the trouble that is behind him? Now built himself up a little bit of a lead of 1.8 seconds over Andres Cardenas, G3 Argyros. Nice jump up from him in the after starting in the 7th position to now run in the final podium spot.
So getting input from our spotters and race control that the number 6 is under review right now for multiple instances. I'm assuming it's going to be blocking, right? Defending, overly defending, blocking, because I've seen him weave a little bit. You're not allowed to weave on the racetrack. In the USF Pro Championships, you have to you can't move in reaction to. You have to be the driver that makes the move, whether it's a defense to the inside or the outside. You can't do it in reaction to a driver behind you moving to the inside. So if a driver's even kind of peeked to the inside, you try to cover off and move over to block or defend, if you will. That's not something that's allowed in our program. You have to be the first driver to make the move. Here's a big lunge to the bottom. Oh, I cannot believe there wasn't contact there. Huge lunge to the inside. I think that was Martella on Juncos. He went big time to the bottom of turn number 12.
I believe that is the definition of throwing it up the inside. He just did it again through corner number 14, this time completing the pass.
I love the fact that these drivers are going at it here in this opening weekend of the year, because listen, we got such a long way to go, right? There's 9 weekends, and to start here off at Arlington, I'm going to say we threw these drivers, especially these 7 or 8 rookies that we're going to have full-time on the season, into the deep end of the pool, to be honest. You can look at this racetrack. It's concrete, it's new concrete, it's paint, and a tough racetrack with barriers all around the outside. So the fact that they've been able to race as they have so far, I am super thrilled with the way they've done, and I'm really looking forward to 2026.
Lots of fun, lots of excitement in the USF Pro 2000 Championships. It remains Jack Jeffers out in front, Andres Cardenas, though the stewards are looking at him right now. G3 Argyros, Frankie Mossman, and Teddy Musella rounding out the top 5.
Evan Cooley having a good run as well. We talked a lot about Evan and some of the issues that he had. Evan started a little bit deeper in the field, but has been able to work his way forward, taking advantage of all that chaos. Started down in 19th position, now runs in 6th. All the chaos and a race car that he's been able to drive forward. Fastest driver on the track with the purple lap is Teddy Musella, running in the 5th spot. Just a minor issue, as we know he spun around in the middle of a battle late in the going in race number 1. I asked Teddy what happened. He said, honestly, Rob, I just lost it on corner entry. And I went to a couple other drivers, Frankie Mossman being one. We saw Jack Jeffers lose the rear of his car, but that may have been another issue. But they're really having to try to trail brake the car. So getting into the corner, hard on the brake, but you're still on the brake when you're going back to throttle to try to get that car to kind of take that set and rotate. When you do that, you have to be able to control it. And if you've hit part of the racetrack where you've lost some grip, it could be trouble. So that's where you'll see some of the drivers potentially have issues here. Great battle right now. This is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Argyros, Mossman, Musella, Pabst, VRD, and they are all over G3 Argyros right now as Mossman wants to get back to P2, or back to the podium rather. Second in race 1, a potential 3rd in race 2. Better than what Frankie, I think, would have expected based on how he was in practice earlier this weekend. And
now you have to wonder if Teddy Musella is thinking, okay, how close do I want to be to those 2 cars that are battling in front of me? Do I want to leave just a little bit of breathing room to be able to take advantage of what might happen? But it is a 3-car battle going on right now.
Yeah, Mossman in the 77 is going inside, he's going outside, he's trying to over-under. G3 Argyros has got the elbows up to the point that he is fully defending for 3rd right now. We're only at the halfway point, Todd. 9 laps down, 9 laps still to go. So we're at the halfway, and G3 is on full defense mode. And I think Mossman feels really good about that race car. Whatever changes they made, he's going to make a big move to the outside here. Oh, yes, all the way down. He's going to try to keep Argyros pinned to the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, he gets it done before they even get to the braking zone. Book it. What a great overtake on the back straightaway and move Frankie Mossman up into 3rd. That was just absolute haunting him, just hounding him the entire time, finally able to slide by.
Yeah, all the way through the horseshoe and through corners 7 and 8. And then as they came onto that long straightaway through corner number 9, tucked right up underneath the wing and then pops out to the outside, gives you a nice little bit of a draft, and you complete the pass.
Yeah, and he's not done yet. He's got work to do because Teddy Musella wants his way by as well. Musella, remember, had that spin, finished further down the order, so his mind's like, I got to recover. All these drivers, Todd, that had bad races in the opening run, maybe to the inside there. Well, I don't know that we've seen an outside turn 1 to the inside of turn 2 pass yet.
I'm not sure we want to see that.
It's literally a ramp as you come across there. The angle of the drop-off coming through turn 2 to get from going one direction to the other is just unbelievably aggressive. Keying in on this battle right now for P4, Argyros trying to hold off Teddy Musella. Right behind, though, closing up, though, is Evan Cooley, P6th. Cooley started in 19th position. No, where does Cooley start? Yeah, 19th position, and he is haunting now. I like seeing this. This is good stuff.
That is taking advantage of the troubles that are ahead of you. He was able to avoid that pile up through corner number 14 that caused that initial first caution, gained a bunch of positions in that area, and has also driven very well and moved around a couple of others as well. So nice drive for Evan Cooley, who really needs a good finish. Or a finish.
Oh, yeah, or a finish. Exactly that. Update from race control. Car 6, Andres Cardenas, is going to get a couple of post-race penalties. He has an avoidable contact penalty. He's got a plus 5 seconds as well for a weaving. So it's very likely going to be a 15-second penalty post-race for Cardenas. Number 1 for contact, number 2 for weaving. That's 15 seconds. So just look at where he is right now. Let's go another 15. It's going to drop somewhere down to 9th or 10th right now as they run on the track. So
yeah, that contact was with Leonardo Scorpioni trying to jump up the inside, and there was just no place to go. There was no room to try to make that move.
Oh, look at this again. Masella had a good run down the outside, but Ardros wouldn't give it up, went down the inside. Great on both of them. Ardros super aggressive here. He does not want to give this up. Finally does, but shout out as well to Masella for being super patient. Because I'll tell you, folks, these guys can train all day in the gym. They raced karts when they were younger. All the stuff that you can teach. You can't teach patience. You try to instill it, but you can't teach it. It's something that's got to go into a driver's mindset when they start to mature. Teddy Masella could have thrown it in there. He could have said, okay, this is my last-ditch effort. But he kept digging, he kept pushing, and finally was able to get by.
And understands that we're only 12 laps down, still a third of this race left to go to complete 18 laps. I might not get him on this corner, might not get him on the next one, but there will be an opportunity. And that's why drivers will continue to bounce from one side to the other. The persistence that pays off. We saw it with Frankie Mossman, who got away.
So let's just throw a couple of names out here because there's amazing things that are going on. JT Hoskins, while we've been watching the guys up front. JT Hoskins, coming up from juniors last year, had that big wreck at Road America. Decided he wanted to make the jump to pro. He wants to spend a couple years in pro, over USF 2000. Had a strong run in the opening race, ends up finishing in 9th. He's now up into 7th spot, starting at 15th, plus 8. Hoskins looking at a couple of top 10s. What a huge weekend that would be for him if he's able to get that done, as the Masella-Ardros battle is not done, as Ardros is coming back at him. Anthony Martella was in pit lane. He's 9th. He's got himself back to 9th with everything that's happened on the racetrack. So Martella all the way up again into the top 10, started deeper in the field again, sort of 13th, he's up 4. It's been a great weekend for Anthony Martella. So with Hoskins and Martella deserving of a little time in the spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely. They've both done a great job through this one. Anthony Martella, had troubles and then had to charge forward in race number 1, having to charge again after getting the front wing clipped off. Great work by that team to get him in, get those repairs made, and get him back out at the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, drivers out already on this one here. Mac Clark, as we know, the damage for Mac from potentially going off the racetrack. Christian Cameron, the contact with Logan Adams, both those drivers were out as well. Joey Barenza was out, contact with the wall as he's tried to slip by the outside of Logan Adams. So Barenza's had a weekend to forget for sure. So we still have 18 drivers on the racetrack. I believe Jacob Douglas is at least 1, maybe 2 laps down. A Scorpioni able to get back out with a new wing, as was Sebastian Manson. So a couple of drivers a lap down. 15, though, Todd, remain on the lead lap, 12 down, 6 to go.
And how about the focus of Jack Jeffers just to take it back up in front? Head down, looking ahead, not worrying about what's going on behind him, has built himself a 3.8 second lead over this current second place runner.
Yeah, and with the penalties right now laid down from race control to Andres Cardenas in the number 6, that's going to put him very likely down into about the 9th position now, potentially in front of Anthony Martella. Any of those drivers further back need to find some speed to close up because, again, it's a time penalty, 15 seconds total added on to what Cardenas has right now. So, indeed, a number of drivers trying to work their way back up. Jeffers still leads. We haven't had a lot of chance to talk about Jack Jeffers. 3.8 seconds out into the lead, leaving the carnage to happen behind him. We talked about it being a redemption story. The battling for seeing further back. That's what's keeping us away from the guy up front because there's a couple of turn 3 cars here in the middle of the fight. That's Golan, Martella, Juncos, and Durst. That is 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. All just absolutely going at it. Behind them is Costello trying to work his way back forward. Thomas Schrag there as well. Colin Aiken. This is great stuff outside the top 5. Again, Jack Jeffers not getting any TV time whatsoever as he is out front, clean and green in the exclusive Autosport USF Pro Championship Scholarship car number 92.
This action back in the field, this is the kind of activity that we expect to see and have seen for years in the USF Pro 2000 Championships with Golan and Martella and Durst and Junko Schrag even back that far, shuffling positions around a little further up as well between Cooley and JT Hoskins. This is great stuff to watch.
Yeah, listen, this is what it's all about here. Now, I've always said that it doesn't matter where you are. Again, you're in the development level. You're learning, and if you find yourself in the middle of a battle and you are going wheel to wheel, nose to tail, that's what this is about. It's about being able to race in this level of race car, right? 250 horsepower. There's a move to the inside. Look at Costello. Beautiful move for Costello to the inside of Schrag. Book it. I'll tell you. And listen, you know who's up in there as well? Colin Aiken. He has stepped up to the next level here after that first race. He is really in the back of that pack there dicing. Knowing he's got a full USF 2000 program, you just sit back there and kind of get a feel and learn, hey, if a gap opens, I might dive for it. All right, let's get some Jack Jeffers time finally. There's the gap for Jeffers over Cardenas. Out front at San Antonio, Texas. Jeffers coming in, put it on the pole in qualifying. In fact, that's back-to-back pole positions, $1,500 from Continental for each pole. So Continental Tire Pole Awards, big for Jack Jeffers, put $3,000 in his pocket here just for qualifying on the pole position, but they're all chasing that scholarship worth almost $600,000 to move to Indy next in 2027. 14 laps down for Jeffers as he crosses the line. 4 laps remaining. Driver slowing on the front straightaway. Not quite sure which driver that is, but slowing on the front straight. Will we go? We're going to have to go full course yellow on this. So that lead of 4.5 seconds for Jeffers is already going away. That's the number 25 at Teddy Masella. Car looks a little bit different when you're kind of looking down on it like we were. Teddy Masella, man, I'll tell you this, Todd. There are a number of guys I would have put down as title contender. You know, these are the guys that I think we're going to see up front. They've all had trouble here. Like, you think about it. Jeffers was leading. He's got a DNF. A Scorpione wins a race. He goes down. You got a guy like Masella. You've got Jacob Douglas low in the results in a couple of races here. So many drivers that we thought were going to be in the lead battle have had trouble. We may see Frankie Mossman as the point leader coming out of this weekend.
And again, you don't know what's to come in these remaining couple of laps. We'll see how quickly that they can clear that 25 car as well, and hopefully get us back to maybe a quick dash for a lap or two of green flag racing to the checkers. And as we saw, once the green flies, there's plenty of action towards the end of this race. So we'll see once the field gets gathered up, and waiting for the AMR safety team to get out there.
I was going to say, are we going to stay green? He's to the inside of the racetrack. Everybody's seen him already. Are we going to stay green? No. Full course yellow coming out on the racetrack. Jeffers, Cardenas, Mossman, Argyros, and Cooley top 5. Hoskins, Masella, Golan, Martella, and Durst, your top 10 right now. The AMR IndyCar safety team quickly onto the scene. I'm assuming it'll be a flat toe. I don't know that he made any damage. It looked to me potentially just some kind of a mechanical. Again, it didn't look like he was crab walking down or any kind of damage to the car. So if they're able to flat toe him back, Todd, I don't think it's going to be a long time. Lap 15 in the books, 3 laps to go. I don't know that we go green next time by. That would be lap 16. We're to the point right now where we're touch and go if a race ends now. Now, they're just going to push him down and around the corner and back into the area there. We may be able to go next time around. With the distance of this racetrack and the way the AMR IndyCar safety team is on this now, I think we'll probably go green next time by. So it will essentially be a 2-lap dash.
So you want everybody in this field to be hustling to catch up to the back of the pack so that we can be ready to go next time by. And yes, they've already cleared that car into pit lane. They'll get that safety vehicle out of the way, and without any debris on the track, we should be able to go back to green quickly.
So, bad news for Jack Jeffers. A 4.5 second lead's gone. Worse news for Teddy Masella. He's in the pit lane, having a rougher run in race number 1, and then now a DNF here in race number 2. Indeed, lights out on the pace car, so we're going to go back to green. Fantastic for Leonardo Scorpione. This driver was well back. Now he's 15th with an opportunity to potentially battle himself into the top 10 over the next 2 laps of racing.
So if you're Frankie Mossman, how do you handle this now with Cardenas, with penalties coming? And are you bold? Do you try to get by? You have to play this one cautiously.
So to answer that question, the actual calls were sent down to team radio. So everybody knows that there will be penalties to Cardenas in the number 6. Jack Jeffers will know that as well. Cardenas has got to keep digging. This actually hurts Cardenas in a big way as well, because he had that big gap on everybody. He would have been 9th. Right now, if you go another 15 seconds, by the time everybody gets right back up to the tail of the feed, he may be out. He literally may be 15th. So it did not help Cardenas at all. So he's going to want to push as hard as he can to at least try to potentially stay with Jeffers. I don't know that making a move by Jack Jeffers would be a good idea, reputation-wise in the paddock right now. But his best to try to see if he can get as much gap as possible to get a couple of positions, and maybe for him an issue in the back. But
so again, for Mossman and for Argyros, you have to be convinced that you can make a move before you make that move, because understanding that he will be penalized after.
And the other, I don't know that Frankie Mossman has it in his head. I think I'm kind of analytical as a guy who's not actually a driver. I'm not the guy out there trying to win a championship. But if Mossman comes home in third place on the racetrack, which ends up being second, he's going to leave here with the point lead. And I don't know that I guarantee that's not something that comes from Dan Mitchell on the radio, because Dan Mitchell wants to win races all the time. He'll be telling Mossman we're going for the race win, like throw it all out there, because he likes to win races. But Mossman comes home in second. He leaves Arlington with the point lead heading to the month of May. So that's a big thing. Probably not in the radio at all at this point here. But indeed, this is going to be a wild finish. G3 Argyros trying to get himself back onto the podium. Yeah, he's actually on the podium with the issues. Evan Cooley running P5 right now. He'll end up in fourth. But there's still a lot of racing to go, folks. Here we go. Out of the corner. They're going to punch off. And it'll be lap 16 when they come across the line. 2 laps remaining here for USF Pro 2000 to cap off their weekend here at the Grand Prix of Arlington. Side-by-side turn 3 action coming through turn number 1. They'll continue it. Oh, almost contact coming out of that corner. We are green flag racing. Good jump for Jeffers on Cardenas down into turn number 4. Just got to get through there cleanly, I think. And he'll be in good shape. Yep, good stop there. Argyros, oh, look at the cars just dancing on the razor's edge coming out of the corner. Big move up the inside there. That might have been Golan coming for a spot. Brady Golan, the Texan driver, on it. Gets a spot a little bit further back. Who was he able to slip by there? I think potentially maybe Martella. That might have been, Golan and Martella, I think, going at it, unless it was Cooley. There's Jeffers. There's Cardenas. And there's the number 3 of Durst. An issue there for Durst coming into turn number 4. He was running in 9th. Tough one for Tyke Durst, who was looking at trying to get another top 12 finish. Penultimate run down the long mile straightaway here at Arlington. Down into turn number 10. There's the gap for Jack Jeffers, the exclusive Autosport driver, leading the way. Do we see a kind of a lunge here from Argyros to potentially go to P2? What would be P2? I would assume that the staff here at USF is going to try to make sure we have the right podium and institute those penalties. So I don't know that we'll see Cardenas on the podium. Overcooking there for Douglas down to the end of the straightaway. Scorpione going to try to get at least 1 or 2 spots here. We'll see what he gets coming back by the stripe. There's the 4 right there. He's got at least 1, 2, 3 spots. I want to say he's very likely up into 13th now. Defensive move to the bottom of the racetrack there for Mossman. White flag flying this time by. Jeffers, Cardenas, Mossman, Argyros, Cooley. Hoskins runs an impressive 6th, 7th, Golan, 8th, Martella, 9th, Costello, 10th, Schrag. A Scorpione to 12th. He goes +4 on 1 lap. Todd, this is good stuff.
This is a great way to end this USF Pro 2000 series event. Lots of action throughout the field. Jeffers is starting to check out just a little bit from the second place runner, but plenty of fighting throughout the field.
Oh, another big move to the bottom of the racetrack there. You saw that thing. That might have been Martella getting back by Brady Golan. Excellent drive for Martella, trying to do 2 big races from deep in the pack. Look at Argyros all up on the gearbox of Cardenas, rather Mossman. And Cooley's there as well. There's Cardenas clean. Evan Cooley has arrived on the scene, currently P5. Remember, 4th is a podium. That is actually 3rd. Cardenas right now will probably go he'll go down to 15th. 15 seconds with a penalty for both weaving and avoidable contact for Andres Cardenas, the Jay Howard driver, running P2. So pluck him out of the results. Here comes Argyros. G3's not done. We're going to go 2 wide. Watch for an over-under potentially coming from Cooley to get them both. He goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Cooley going to try to go 3 wide. Yeah, look, Cooley to the bottom. Oh, there's not much room in there. Cooley, we're 3 wide coming through turn number 11 to 12. Cooley thinking about the bottom. No. He has not finished a race in 7 races right now. I think he'd like to bring it home, but he potentially could be on the box.
I think he made the right decision there. You do not want to go up the inside.
Out of the corner here, folks. Turn 14, across the line, twin checkers are out, and it's a home state victory for the Texan, Jack Jeffers. Redemption from the issue in race number 1. Jack Jeffers wins by just under a second from Andres Cardenas, but a penalty will drop him off the podium. G3 Argyros gets by Mossman on the final lap, 0.2 of a second. What a drive for G3 Argyros. He'll go to second. Mossman third, Cooley fourth, Hoskins fifth, Golan sixth, Martella up to seventh. Another great run for Martella. Costello in eighth, Scorpione to ninth, Thomas Schrag in 10th. And indeed, it'll be 14th in the order for Andres Cardenas with 15 seconds worth of penalties. Jeffers, Argyros, and Mossman, the podium here in race number 2.
USF Pro 2000 delivers once again. Oh, this was super fun. Terrific way to wrap up our activity here on Saturday at the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington. Rob is going to dash to the victory podium to interview our race winner, and Jack Jeffers, who redeems himself after problems in race number 1 a little bit earlier today. Has himself a very successful run. Takes off from the front of the field, leads the entire event, holds off all challengers on a couple of restarts. We had that big caution, that big pileup in corner number 14 with the chain reaction collision. Not a significant amount of damage done to a lot of cars, but enough that they were forced to make pit stops and had to and wound up really costing them in the race. But Jack Jeffers, after difficulty and disappointment in race number 1, bounces back and has himself a very good race number 2. Scholarship winner as the USF 2000 champion from 2025, making the leap and scores his first victory of the season here in race number 2 at the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington. Tremendous day of activity here as the drivers continue to circulate on their cool down lap. Some big movers throughout this one, and a number of drivers that went up towards the front of the field, then went towards the back, and then found their way back towards the front of the field again. Leonardo Scorpione was one who suffered damage, had to make a pit stop after some contact, still manages to charge back and get himself back into the top 10. Anthony Martella caught up in a problem in the early going of the race. Same thing, has to make a pit stop, gets himself a new front wing. He charges back forward and gets himself a top 10 finish as well. Feeling really good for Evan Cooley in that 90 car, who has a top 5 finish after so many struggles. Earlier today, didn't finish the race, had problems in St. Petersburg racing in the USF 2000 series, had problems finishing races at the end of last season, but finally gets to the finish line of the checkered flag and scores himself a top 5 finish today. Strong run for Evan Cooley of Exclusive Autosports, who really needed one there. Some other great runs as well from G3 Argyros, who had a very good finish on the podium, starting in the 7th position, avoided some of the trouble up towards the front of the field, and finds himself with a podium position. And Frankie Mossman as well. Strong, consistent in the first 2 rounds here of the USF Pro 2000 series, finishing on the podium for both races. As Rob mentioned, he should be leaving here, leading the championship after the first 2 rounds. And there you see the winner, Jack Jeffers, getting congratulations from his team. This is what we expected in race number 1. Didn't materialize. A problem that put him into the wall coming out of corner number 9 in race number 1. But puts all that behind him. Leads from the drop of the green to the checkered flag, scores the victory, survives as it challenges from behind. And there were some good ones in the early going. Jeffers, though, did build himself up a quick lead of a couple of seconds once things did settle down, and scores himself a nice victory. Great day of activity here at the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington. I'm going to take a second to remind you again that due to forecasted high winds tomorrow afternoon, they are moving up the green flag of the NTT IndyCar Series race, now scheduled to go green at 11 a.m. tomorrow. 11 a.m., the new scheduled green flag time for the IndyCar Series. But let's celebrate the moment in USF Pro 2000 with Jack Jeffers, who comes out and has that number 1 sign and scores the victory after a difficult race number 1, redemption in race number 2. Taking a second to congratulate his team and get hugs all around, understandably so. And now ready to speak with Rob Howden.
All right now, we've got you. Let's get that camera in here for you right now. We'll get you weighed in a second, don't worry. Jack Jeffers obviously coming back. It's been a rough day. The first race of the day, you had the issue after leading. Essentially start to finish, to come back and do it here right now. Just tell me what that means.
It means a whole lot, not only for, our season's sake, but also, morale and everything else. But I knew we could do it. After, the first race with me and Leo pulling away, I knew it was, almost a guaranteed P1 or P2 until, a driver error took that away. So, forgot about it as soon as I could, moved on, learned from it, and then head down for this one. We knew we could, pull away if Leo was shuffled back a little bit, and that's what we were able to do.
How was the racetrack itself? We talked about the fact, first off, in the show that you had to do it mentally, right? You had to put it behind you to be able to focus on this one here. How was the racetrack in terms of grip?
The racetrack honestly was good. I was expecting with the heat that maybe it'd get a little greasy, but honestly, it doesn't feel that hot out right now, right? And so the track was good. It's been an amazing track. IndyCar did an amazing job with this. It's hands down my favorite street course, maybe my favorite track overall. And I'm a little biased, being from here, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the question. How big is it then to win here? You've won a lot of big races in your karting career, your car career, championships last year in USF 2000. You just won in the home state of Texas. How's that feel?
It feels great. It's not many opportunities that we get to race in Texas. So to win back at home in front of, family and friends and, on my home turf, that means so much. It's monumental.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Jack Jeffers, folks, the winner today in USF Pro 2000. A heck of a drive for him, especially after the issues. Let's come behind me here. G3 Argyros, let's come and get you. G3, man, the pressure that you put on Mossman all race long. Last lap pass to get it done. Give me your thoughts. You got a chin-wide smile.
Oh, geez, it was just honestly a dogfight from the first second, from the first green. It was just keep the head down, keep the car safe. We saw how hectic this track is. Honestly, I love it. So amazing. I mean, there's nothing better than getting out of a race and just going, wow, that was an amazing race. I know I drove incredibly. My competitors drove incredibly. And you have weekends like this where, you have a big low and then a big high. And I can't thank Pops Racing enough. They really took a gamble to put me in this pro car. And, going forward, I'm happy that we could deliver first weekend.
So mid-race, you were the guy on the defensive. And then the second half of the race, you were the guy on the offensive. Give me your thoughts on changing that up.
Yeah, I got a little taste of everything around this track. I got, battling really hard initially with, Cardenas. And then at the end, having to battle Frankie for the podium for P2. So it was really just one of those great smiley races where you're so happy when you're done with it. It's just been such an amazing weekend. I'd like to thank Dan Anderson and Penske for putting on this event.
Congrats on a great drive.
Thank you, Rob.
One more guy to talk to. Let's get Frankie Mossman. Frankie, come on over here, my friend. I'm not good at math, but with a couple of podiums, you're probably the point leader heading to the month of May. Overall, how did you feel about the race there? You were in the middle of a great dogfight.
Yeah,
Here's a look at the unofficial results. USF Pro 2000, Jack Jeffers, after a disappointment in race number 1, bounces back to score the victory in race number 2. G3 Argyros, Frankie Mossman rounding out the podium. Andres Cardenas was penalized for a couple of incidents during the race, and that took him off the podium. Evan Cooley and JT Hoskins rounding out the top 5. Nice run for Hoskins. Brady Golan and Anthony Martella had some really good battles amongst themselves in the late stages of this race. They finished 6th and 7th, respectively. Michael Costello, Leonardo Scorpioni, a 9th place finish. Boy, oh boy, had himself a good run, was up near the front of the field, had wing damage, had to make a pit stop, got a fresh wing, charged back into a top 10 finish. Thomas Schrag rounds out the top 10 of the USF Pro 2000. Looking down the rest of the field, Juncos, Aiken, DeFabus, Andres Cardenas, as you see, drops back to 14th position with those penalties. Tyke Durst, who had trouble late in the race. Manson, Douglas, Teddy Musella also had problems. Matt Clark had started in the top 10, had charged forward just a little bit, ran off course in corner number 4 and wound up at the back of the pack. Christian Cameron rounding out the top 20. 20. And a couple of more finishers with Logan Adams and Joey Brienza as well also had trouble early in this race as well. But a terrific day of activity here at the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington as we get set for podium ceremonies with the top 3 finishers in the USF Pro 2000 series. We'll have action again tomorrow, and another reminder, if you are still here with us on the grounds, that the green flag time for the NTT IndyCar Series has been moved up tomorrow. We have some higher winds forecasted in the afternoon, so they have taken steps to move up the green flag for the IndyCar Series at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So make plans accordingly to arrive earlier to catch all 70 laps of the NTT IndyCar Series tomorrow here at the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington. Live music starting shortly at Texas Live as well, so still lots of activity through the fan zones here if you are still on the grounds with us as we wait for the podium ceremonies for USF 2000 to take place. But what a terrific day of action and activity. Be Marcus Ericsson, who is on the pole tomorrow for the NTT IndyCar Series race. But a great kickoff for the USF Pro 2000 series here at this first-time event. All 3 series on the USF Pro Championships are now underway. Started with the juniors at Homestead, Miami, and then it was the USF 2000 series in St. Petersburg a couple of weeks ago, and now the 3rd series underway. Still a bit of a break. Let's get ready for podium ceremonies and back down to Rob Howden.
Thank you so much, Todd. Indeed, down here in Victory Lane for the final time for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. A fantastic race for these drivers, just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. Let's get things underway, starting with the driver coming home in 3rd place today for VRD Racing, Frankie Mossman. Great drive for Frankie, coming home P3 today. Excellent run to the front. Very likely the point leader heading to the month of May and Indianapolis. Finishing in 2nd spot today, a dogfight all race long for Paps Racing, G3 Argyros. One more spot on the podium, folks. Definitely the comeback story of the day. Into the wall in the penultimate lap in race 1. He storms back for a victory. He's the home state driver from San Antonio, Texas. Give it up for the winner, Jack Jeffers. Exclusive Autosport driver winning the USF 2000 championship last year. He gets a victory in his debut weekend here. Again, the home state driver out of San Antonio, doing Texas proud, putting on a show here this weekend. Excellent job for Jack Jeffers. G3 Argyros, a fantastic run as well. Couple of rookies in 1st and 2nd. Frankie Mossman, sophomore driver, into the 3rd spot. A great drive for Frankie. 2 podiums. The only driver on the podium twice here this weekend. That's the kind of consistency you want to start a season. Great day of competition here. Wind picking up a little bit for the drivers there on that one. We had some chaos early on, no doubt about that, as we stacked them all up in turn number 14. But the drivers up front did a great job being able to stay out of trouble. Hats are coming out as usual for the award ceremony. Great sponsors that we have, all part of our program here. Anderson Interior Contracting sponsoring our Grand Prix of Arlington here this weekend. VP Racing Fuels, Continental Tire. Tatis, of course, the supplier of our chassis. Elite Engines, the engine builder of all the cars in the USF Pro Championships. Tremendous job are our drivers here today. Again, these guys just 2 steps away. This is where Pato Award was a couple years. Renus VK, Kyle Kirkwood, Louis Foster, Christian Rasmussen, Stingray Robb. They were all in this program just a couple of years ago. This is where they learned all the skills that they needed to get themselves into the NTT IndyCar Series. And like I always say, you always want to go to these autograph sessions. You always want to watch these races. It's like watching the superstars of the sport as they were coming up through the ranks. Just a very unique opportunity, and especially to have them here on a race weekend as well. Great job for the drivers. Jack Jeffers, of course, coming away after the issue that dropped him to the tail of the field after the contact here. Very impressive drive for Jeffers. Really flawless up front, executed well, started on pole, a couple of pole positions for Jack. Champagne coming out. Let's wait till it gets distributed to all the guys. Grab that champagne. Guys, congratulations for a fantastic weekend here at the GP of Arlington. Boys, grip it and rip it. Let's celebrate. Nicely done. Great work by all 3 drivers. And Mossman's a veteran of this program here. He got Jack Jeffers good. Those of you tuned in live on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel or on the USF Pro Championships app, I hope you enjoyed the action. Great stuff here from Arlington. Jack Jeffers told you, not only is it his favorite street circuit, maybe his favorite racetrack in the country right now. That sentiment echoed by so many young drivers in our program here. They love their time here at the Grand Prix of Arlington. Hope you guys have a fantastic day tomorrow. You got great racing, GR Cup, Indy next, and of course, the big boys in the IndyCar program are going to put on a show here this weekend. All part of the Java House Grand Prix of Arlington. Big thank you to everybody tuning in once again on behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire. My name's Rob Houghton. Bye for now.